Travel to the future in search of the fifth element. Here we go again, a game spawned by a Hollywood movie. Thumbs up or down? Find out in the grill.
And the San Francisco 49ers and Sony of America teamed up to help some of their young fans. We have an exclusive interview and a behind-the-scenes look at this charity event.
Plus, all the game information you can handle, including a review of Klingon Honor Guard for the PC. Check your phasers, cause it's game time. Welcome to a jam-packed edition of GameSpot TV, your ultimate guide to computer and video gaming. Hello, I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Lauren Fielder. Besides wall-to-wall games, Computer Gaming World's Dave Salvatore checks in with the latest game gears. Now let's check some game news.
San Francisco was the center of schmooze recently as Nintendo, Eidos, and the Professional Gamers League sponsored snazzy shindigs. Nintendo celebrated the anticipated launch of the N64's latest installment of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Not only was there whining and dining, but Miyamoto himself, referred to simply as God by loyal fans, flew in all the way from Japan. Down the street from Zelda Bash, Eidos was not to be outdone as their Tomb Raider event got into full swing. Booths, blaring music, and a whole lot of writhing bodies celebrated Tomb Raider 3 going gold. Editors, game designers, and bigwigs lined up at kiosks, when not at the bar, to get the feel of Lara Croft's latest adventure. And speaking of San Francisco, the city also hosted the recent PGL tournament. Gamers competed for over $100,000 in cash and prizes. 32 people competed in single, team play, and clan tournaments. And the big winner was, once again, Dennis Fong, a.k.a. Thresh, who has now won the competition twice in its short one-year history.
What do you get when two powerhouses, the San Francisco 49ers and Sony of America, decide to team up to help less fortunate kids? Lots of money, fun, and of course, video games. We covered the event and captured all of the action.
We're here at the Great Entertainer in San Francisco, California. We're here for a video game event with Sony Entertainment and San Francisco 49ers. Two big names coming together for a charity event. We're going to check out what's going on.
They're calling it the In the Pocket event, a night devoted to helping the San Francisco Boys and Girls Club and other Bay Area charities under the 49er Foundation. Sony Computer Entertainment, one of the video game giants, was more than a willing partner.
What was the genesis of you putting this thing together?
Well, we're obviously big fans of charities, especially in the Bay Area, being a Bay Area headquartered company. Do a lot of things with the 49ers. They're all big PlayStation fans, and they approached us to see if we can help them out and sponsor the event and raise money for charity, and we obviously obliged. 3, 2, 1,
and here they go! And what's a 49er charity without any games? The PlayStation Video Game Challenge was the highlight of the night. The pros had a chance to show some of their moves during the racing game, Gran Turismo.
What do you think about this whole competition, Lane?
Well, I think it's pretty good. I think, we're competitive as anything. We're competitive players and everything. So I think the competition is going to be good, especially when you get some of the players playing between each other.
This video game challenge might look like fun and games, but not if you're a professional competitor.
This is easy, so that changes my strategy a little bit.
I don't know. I've only played the football and basketball games, so we'll see how I handle this.
The pressure's on when the players got in the driver's seat. 12 of the 49ers competed, no holds barred, and all their pride was definitely at stake.
Hey, square lead, square to break.
Pressure and humiliation might be part of every football game that they play. But tonight, the 49ers know that their teamwork with Sony is benefiting many of their young fans.
We're just enjoying it at the same time. All the proceeds are going toward the great Bay Area functions and stuff.
So, no matter who crossed the finish line first during the race, everyone already knew who the true winner would be.
According to the Niners, the In the Pocket event raised close to $50,000.
And the team has 3 charity events that rotate annually and raise about $250,000 a year.
Wow, not bad for the 5-time Super Bowl champs.
Coming up on GameSpot TV, there's another war between heaven and hell, and we've got the preview with Requiem for the PC. And check your port bow, Trekkies. We've got Klingons on the warpath, and they're fighting for their honor on your PC.
So Adam, when was was the last time you crawled down to the underworld?
A couple of weeks ago, I had to pick up some dry cleaning.
Are you sure it's been that long?
Oh yeah, I had these spaghetti stains on my Van Heusen.
Okay, well, check out this preview and see if anything looks familiar.
Similar in its sacrilegious stylings as other upcoming releases, such as Messiah, 3DO's Requiem for the PC situates you as the protagonist in a Milton-esque celestial battle on an Earth gone oh so mad. In the game, you're cast as the angel Malachi, one of the good angels who must stop the fallen, those of the heavenly host who have become rather bitter and twisted and have an itchin' to destroy humanity. While being a first-person action game, it is mixed with many adventure elements. What initially stands out are the biblical powers that may make one stay up late at night with pangs of inadequacy. Such powers involve the rather mundane lightning, but expand to include summoning locusts and turning others into pillars of salt. With graphics that stand out, especially in the hell or chaos levels, Requiem is a game that holds out much dark promise for apocalyptic musings on its January 20th release date. As we all know, Gach is best served live with the Royal Fizz Band, except on Tuesday.
And what are you going on about now?
I'm sorry, I was having a Trekkie moment.
Right. Well, Star Trek fans, get your Batleth ready. Klingon Honor Guard, the new PC shooter from Microprose, is in the grill. Klingon Honor Guard from Microprose is the first 3D first-person shooter to utilize the Unreal Engine. The game feels like Unreal, however the environments are true to the Star Trek universe. We can't have a game about Klingon honor without including Kahless, savior of the Klingon people. For those Pataks not up on their Star Trek trivia, the intro will help fill you in. Hundreds of years ago, Kronos, the Klingon homeworld, was ruled by Malar. A tyrant even by Klingon standards, Malar was eventually overthrown by Kahless and 3 combat masters. Kahless united the Klingon people and everyone celebrated with a live Gach. The combat masters eventually started their own academies whose best graduates are recruited for the Honor Guard, the organization that protects the High Council.
Ogat, Kolos, and Tokar swore an oath of loyalty to Kahless.
The game takes place generations later. You play a trainee hoping to be inducted into the Klingon Honor Guard. Recently, an assassination attempt was made on Gowron, the leader of the Klingon High Council. In the process, several council members are killed, and Gowron charges you with the task of finding the culprits. There are 10 weapons to choose from in all. Using the hand-to-hand weapons like the Batleth or the Klingon dagger were the most fun. After all, for a Klingon, there is more honor in looking your enemy in the eye when you take his life. Overall, Klingon Honor Guard isn't a bad shooter. Star Trek fans will enjoy the environments and the authentic Klingon characterizations. So if you feel today is a good day to die, check out Klingon Honor Guard. Thierry Guyen of GameSpot.com gives Klingon Honor Guard a rating of 6.4 out of 10. Thierry says Klingon Honor Guard is a decent action game utilizing the Star Trek franchise, but judged on its merit as a shooter, Klingon Honor Guard suffers because of its average design. So you're having a hard time with Klingon Honor Guard, are you? Well, here are some game breakers to help you make it through.
Pathetic humans, real Klingons don't use cheat codes.
To access the Klingon Honor Guard cheat codes, press the Tab key once and then type in the following codes. Want a cloaking device of your very own? Type in Invisible One and you can sneak up on your enemies and strike out of nowhere. Then type Invisible 0 to disable your invisibility. Can't seem to find those dilithium cells, or maybe you've used up all your grenades on those blue-faced Andorians? Well, type in All Ammo to max out on your ammunition. Coming up on GameSpot TV, it's console time. We have a review of those little green army men. Plus, we've got slicing and dicing action with a review of Bushido Blade 2 for the PlayStation. And we've got a review of the latest film-game crossover, The Fifth Element.
Hey Lauren, you know what I think are the coolest things around?
I can't even imagine.
Green plastic army men.
Green plastic army men.
Yep, they're dope.
Dope.
They are so fly.
So fly?
I mean, they're the bomb. They are boss.
I really hope this is leading to the Army Men preview.
Yes, pre-adolescent backyard adventuring has made it into virtual format, as we see here in Army Men 3D for the PlayStation from 3DO. As the title implies, the game revolves around plastic army men, but instead of simulating various firecracker-oriented tortures, this strategy action game involves you waging war with the green ones against the nefarious gray, tan, and blue guys. Led by the appropriately generically titled Sarge, your plastic platoon of 4 engages in mission-based play to strategically plan formations and takeovers in various environments. Weaponry is linked to the identity of the various army men, including Rifleman, Bazooka Man, and Grenadier. The damage caused also respects the polyurethane integrity of the little guys. They don't clutch themselves and bleed, they melt and shatter. With missions based on old war movies, the game has adopted an appropriately humorous tone which should carry over to its cooperative multiplayer and deathmatch modes. Look for Army Men 3D on December 29th.
Last year, Bushido Blade took a fresh slice at fighting games. Now Square is back on the attack.
Bushido Blade 2 for the PlayStation comes hard with sharper characters and a killer story.
Forget everything you know about fighting games when you step up to Bushido Blade 2. Most of all, get over the life bar idea. This sequel saves the most dramatic feature of the original Bushido Blade. When someone hits you with his sword once, you die. Bushido Blade 2 builds on the strengths of the original game. You can still choose from several weapons, fighting stances, and characters. The game is set against a tapestry of 2 feuding samurai clans. Each character has an individual narrative thread that you discover.
Sorry, my dear, but it's just not in my nature to fight a girl.
Underestimate me and you'll be sorry. Haven't you ever heard of the name Joe before?
As you fight, supporting characters will appear and offer to help. Successfully using these characters unlocks them so that they can be used in other areas of the game. Each character has his or her own story, fighting style, and weapon proficiency. The first Bushido Blade was a dramatic departure from the fighting game genre. Bushido Blade 2 carries on the tradition, adding complex characters and a rich story that unfolds slowly and often tragically. Whether you're a newcomer to the series or a fan of the original, Bushido Blade 2 is a fighting treat. Videogames.com gave Bushido Blade 2 an 8 out of 10. Reviewer Jeff Gersman thinks that the game's sharp new character graphics, simplified fighting system, and enhanced storyline add up to a sequel that's better than the original.
The Fifth Element was an epic sci-fi film that was released just before summer last year. Now, some thought it was really brilliant, while others thought it was just a high-tech fashion show starring supermodel Mila Jovovich.
The Fifth Element was directed by the famous French auteur Luc Besson, who is known for directing Nikita, Leon, and the awesome ocean fantasy, The Big Blue.
Over a year after the film came and went, the Fifth Element game was released, and we thought we'd fry it on the grill.
Activision's The Fifth Element is a third-person action game based upon the sci-fi action epic of 1997. You begin the game as Bruce Willis's futuristic cabbie character, Corbin Dallas, who comes ready with a pistol and a few dives and rolls to evade enemies. As Corbin, the player's first line of business is to track down and revive Lilu, a living incarnation of the Supreme Being whose mere presence could spell danger or salvation for the universe. At this point in the movie, Lilu is little more than a foot fragment, but not for long.
Perfect.
Behind the movie license, The Fifth Element is a video game fraught with bugs, bad gameplay, and lackluster graphics. The characters and backgrounds in the game are choppy and uninspired, falling short of the spellbinding visuals you'll witness in the movie. The sound effect glitches don't do much to help the overall picture. For example, there are moments in the game where you can't hear your own weapon fire until the enemy has finished attacking. Compound these problems with lobotomized enemies who are practically devoid of artificial intelligence, and what you're left with is a very, very dull game.
I'm very disappointed.
Lauren Fielder, that's me, of VideoGames.com gave Fifth Element a pathetic score of a 2.4 out of 10, saying that numerous bugs, bad enemy AI, and an unpolished game engine make the game not very much fun to play. If you're looking for something to spice up your PlayStation, a movie title, this is definitely not the one.
Now, I can tell you, playing the Supreme Being in Fifth Element is less than supreme.
Nonetheless, here's a game breaker that lets you open up all the weapons and items in the game, as well as allowing you access to every level and video clip.
Besides the full-motion video clips from the original movie, the only really redeeming thing about the Fifth Element is the following cheat. This is the big cheat that lets you open up every level in the game, gain access to every weapon and item, give yourself infinite lives, and yes, view all the video clips. To enter the cheat, just go to the main menu, then hit L1, L2, R2, R1, and select in order. When you hear a characteristic chime, you know you've unlocked all the goodies.
And coming up next on GameSpot TV, we've got the latest in gaming hardware with our resident expert, Dave Salvatore. Plus, a look in at the latest indie title from LucasArts. And do you think your town's out of control? Wait till you see Future Cop LAPD in this week's Game Intro.
If you're a traveling gamer, you've probably experienced the painful realization that a lot of the sports and action games are not designed to be played on your laptop.
And you can do what I do and carry your own desktop computer everywhere you go.
You do that?
No. You might want to check out the stinger in today's Game Gear.
Hey there, sports fans. If you spend a lot of time on the road on business and want to play a game on your laptop other than, say, Solitaire, our friends at Gravis might have just the gamepad for you. They call it the Stinger, and between its compact size and its ability to connect any laptop, it might be just the trick. How do they connect it to any laptop, you might ask? Well, it's pretty simple. Here we have a couple of connectors. This one's from a traditional Microsoft gamepad, and it's a 15-pin joystick port connector. Now, that's all well and good, except that a lot of laptops don't come with a joystick port. So how does Gravis solve the problem? Pretty simple. They use a 9-pin serial port here, which will connect you in any laptop because every laptop ships with a 9-pin serial port. So what does this thing look like, you might be asking? Well, as you can see, it's pretty small. It's quite a bit smaller than the traditional Microsoft gamepad, but it has just about all the same functionality, same buttons, and a much more comfortable D-pad, as a matter of fact. I took it for a spin through EA's World Cup 98 here on this laptop, and it played great. So if you're out there on the road and you're looking to play some games and looking for a controller that'll fit nicely in your stuff box for about 40 bucks, the Stinger might be your guy.
The Gravis Stinger is available for $40. You can also plug in up to 2 Stingers, one in each serial port at once. So if you're a gamer on the go, the Stinger size and performance makes it the perfect travel mate.
Time now for one of our favorite segments in the show, the Intro of the Week. And this week we chose the opening sequence of LAPD Future Cop from Electronic Arts.
We like the fast cuts, cinematics, and the overall attitude of this piece. Check it out.
Welcome to Los Angeles, rookie. The city of angels. No angels here anymore, unless you count Angel Mendoza. Target moving south on Harbor. Angel runs a tattoo salon in Hollywood. He's a recon mutant with 6 hands. Angel gave me this.
So what do you think? Any comments? Send them to us at GameSpot TV at ZDTV.com. And if you have a favorite intro, suggest it, and if we pick it, you'll win a prize.
So I practiced my archaeology skills recently when I visited LucasArts and got to converse with Hal Barwood, the myth behind the latest adventure of Indiana Jones.
You know, I was thinking your sagittal crest looks a little pronounced.
LucasArts has a new game in the works, but it won't be another Star Wars title. This time, it's the return of an old friend, Indiana Jones. Specifically, it's going to be Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Heading up the project is LucasArts' Hal Barwood. We spoke with Hal about Indy's return to the video game arena in his modest Northern California office.
It's another Jonesy story. He always tackles the big questions, and this time he's out to find out why the Russians are digging up the Tower of Babel in Babylon after the war. The CIA has put him up to this because they're worried about it, and there's hints that there might be some deadly force there beyond the atomic bomb. And so Indy's off to find out what that might be. It's a real-time 3D, third person mostly, but not exclusively, an action-adventure game. There's a huge story element, as you might expect from a Jones game, and there's interaction with other people. There's a social component that goes along with the shooting and the mayhem. And there's this sense of discovery and exploration, which I just am very excited about, this immersive sense of being in a world with Indy. In the context of a true adventure game, it's hard to bring those elements in a really successful way. And yet, at the same time, there's no point in making Indiana Jones simply a shooter.
A tiki statue with stubby little arms.
I mean, it's no fun to be a first-person Indiana Jones game, because what are you going to do? Is sitting there at your computer console, are you going to be wearing a hat and have a whip at your side? And that doesn't work. And Indy, part of the whole experience with Indy is to see Indy, and see who he is. Indiana Jones is a character, and each story is new and unique. And so although I deal with Indy as a character, I don't have to think barely at all about any other adventures he ever had. It's just a new story involving new characters, and that's great. I love that. I'm not interested in out-and-out first-person shooter games. I'm interested in the combination of character and story and this new immersive world.
It fits.
So I'm very interested in the kind of game I'm doing.
Thanks, Hal. We'll be interested to see the finished product when Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine hits the shelves. Lauren, that takes me back to the time when I was traveling down the Nile and my felucca was attacked by sharks.
Adam, there aren't any sharks in the Nile.
That's why I said it was the Amazon.
Right. Anyway, back to reality. If you missed anything, swing by our website inside ZDTV.com.
And let us know what you thought. Send us your feedback. Our email is GameSpotTV@ZDTV.com.
And lastly, we'd like to congratulate Mark and Matt, who won some prizes during our online chat.
So until next week, play hard.
Play smart.
And play it safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.